Hello everyone, my name is Richie Zhang. Over the next 10 minutes, I'll present key findings on the economic landscape that will directly impact our operations and strategy. We'll cover macroeconomics indicators, the effects of the upcoming government tax rebate, the risk of international tariffs, and actionable insights from behavioral economics. To understand our business environment, we must track three key indicators. First, GDP. A rising GDP signals an expanding economy. More production, more consumptions, and for us, that means higher demand for logistics services. A falling GDP signals a contraction, a critical warning for us to manage capacity and cost. Second, inflation. This directly affects our variable costs, especially fuel for our fleet and energy for our warehouses. High inflation erodes our margin if we can't pass costs on. Third, unemployment. A low unemployment rate can mean a tight labor market, making it harder and more expensive to hire warehouse staff and drivers. These indicators tell us where we are in the business cycle. In an expansion with high GDP, we should focus on capturing growth. In a contraction, we need to focus on operational efficiency and cost control. Just as we analyze in our firm profit models, understanding this cycle is not just academic. It's fundamental to our strategic planning from asset acquisitions to staffing levels. Next, the Singaporean government's planned tax rebate in 2025 will inject disposable income into the economy. Using the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model, we can predict the impact. In the short run, this rebate increases consumer spending, shifting aggregate demand curve to the right. This will lead to higher real GDP and higher price level. For our organization, this is a clear opportunity. Higher economic output means an increases volume of goods being moved through our supply chain. We should prepare for a potential surge in demand for our services. However, in the long run, as the economy operates above its potential, inflationary pressures will build. This can lead to higher wages and other input costs. The short run aggregate supply curve will shift left, returning the economy to its long run potential output but at a permanently higher price level. The key takeaway for us, we need to capitalize on the short run demand boom while preparing for the inflationary pressures that will follow. This means proactively managing our labor cost and potentially locking in our current price with the key suppliers. With recent shifts in global politics, tariffs are a major risk. A tariff is essentially a tax on imported goods. Let's analyze its effect on the US market for components we frequently handle, like electronic microchips. A tariff raises the price for US consumers from the world price to a new and higher price. This has clear winners and losers. US domestic producers wins because they are shielded from the foreign competition. The US government wins by collecting the tax revenue. So, the losers are US consumers who pay more, and foreign producers who are priced out of the market. This creates a deadweight loss, a destruction of economic efficiency. For our organizations, the effects are direct. First, it increased the cost of goods for our clients who rely on these imports, which could reduce their business and, in turn, ours. Second, it disrupts established supply chains, forcing clients to find a new, potentially more expensive suppliers. This uncertainty and reduced trade volume is a direct threat to our international freight forwarding business. Finally, we know people don't always act rationally. Behavioral economics provides tools to improve our decisions. I'll offer two examples. First, the framing effect. How we present our information matters more than the information itself. When selling our services, instead of just offering a price, we can frame it in tiers. A basic package, a standard package with added value like a real-time tracking, and a premium package with a full insurance and dedicated support. This frames the choice around value, not just cost, often leading clients to select a higher margin option. Second, nudge theory. We can use the subtle cues to guide behavior. In our warehouses, to improve safety, we can paint footsteps on the floor leading designated safety equipment stations. This is a simple nudge that encourages correct behavior without a mandate, reducing accidents and improving operational efficiency. To conclude, by actively monitoring the economy, keep a close watch on GDP, inflation, and unemployment to anticipate market shifts. Preparing for fiscal policy changes. Anticipate a short term boom and long term cost increases from the 2025 tax rebate. Mitigating trade risk by proactively manage risk from tariffs by exploring supply chain diversification and leveraging behavioral insight from framing and nudging to improve sales and safety. We can build a more resilient and profitable strategy. Thank you for listening.